I just keep hearing Sylvia Winter talking about the importance of redefining terms, redefining how we see things, redefining what it means to be human. And that if we redefined humanity, it would automatically cause us to rise up and act in a different way. If we redefine what it means to be human, those of us who are not affected by, I know this is a largely American audience, who are not affected by the SNAP cuts directly, would still in solidarity be out saying, guess what? We're shutting the entire country down then. If you are going to cut off the
Vulnerable in
means of
society.
livelihood for so many of us, or even one of us, we are going to be in solidarity. So coming back to Mandani, something he said yesterday is if you come for one of us, you have to go through all of us. And so for these women, looking at where we are right now, I think Hatshepsut would say, put your hands to the plow and build. That's what she did. She was very strategic politically. She surrounded herself with great advisors, and she looked for ways to help her community thrive, her nation thrive. She built. I think Biddy Mason will say, open up your hands and be more generous. We share. So who if we say there are 40 million people on who get SNAP benefits, and there are 350 million people in the United States, we're talking about what? 1 out of every 9 people
Yeah.
is being affected right now. That does not include another set of millions who are furloughed right now.
Followed.
They're furloughed. They're not getting paid. So who are you sharing with right now? If you own property and you have people who are renting from you, are you having those conversations with them to find out what their situation is? Not from the perspective of, people taking advantage of you, but from the perspective of sharing, like Biddy Mason did. Mary Ellen Pleasant will say, how are you funding our liberation? So we just had elections. Did you support any of the candidates financially? Because it takes resources to run. In what way are you supporting the current leaders who may be fighting for justice, so that they know that they are not out here alone, even as they're being attacked? I think Micere would say, we teach and we remember. The importance of knowing our stories and teaching those stories and creating welcoming environments. And so one of the things that people repeatedly said about Micere Mugo is how welcoming she was, how she always created a sense of home for people. And
Mm.
perhaps it's because she lived in foreign countries herself, having been exiled from her home, and understanding how much it meant to have the generosity and the warmth of other people. And so she extended that to other people. Abbey Lincoln would probably say, we sing ourselves free, right? Like we don't stop living. We don't stop expressing. I imagine that if what is happening now had happened when hip hop was first born, the kind of music that would be dropping now,
Yeah.
similar to, Sam Cooke and Marvin Gaye, those songs that have endured, or even going back to Billie Holiday, someone we covered a long time ago, and then Nina Simone covering
No.
that
Yeah.
song as well, Strange Fruit. Um, we would see our artists responding in a very different way today. We will see our athletes, our entertainers responding in a very different way. Abbey Lincoln definitely used her voice for her time, for the time, right?
Correct.
Julia de Burgos will say, you better testify, speak up. I get calls from loved ones who are like, Aya, be quiet. Aya, like, don't be so, you don't have to be the one talking. And I'm like, well, then who talks?
Mm.
Because if everyone is cowering, if everyone, and I'm not saying that I'm not concerned. I mean, nobody wants to invite drama into their lives. At least I don't. But if you don't fight back, you're essentially surrendering.